Hello there, I'm Thomas Hatsios, the British American pilot of the United States Air Force, flying the Boeing 777-300 ERX in tonight's flight from Zurich International Airport. We're going to be overflying Zurich, Switzerland, Germany, and then coming back to the Zurich International Airport, runway 14 for an Lszh, localize our landing. So right now I'm in the cockpit for the pre-takeoff preparation of the Boeing 777-300 ERX of the PMDG simulation in Microsoft Flight Simulator X. So I'm going to start showing you the cockpit instruments and the displays of the Boeing 777-300ER airplane. I'm going to start with the primary flight display that displays the airspeed indicator, the airspeed selected from the autopilot and flight director system panel, the ground speed, the barometric altitude above the sea level, the radial altitude above the ground level, the barometric pressure of the outside atmosphere, the rate of climb and descent of the aircraft in tens, hundreds and thousands of feet per minute, the target altitude selected from the autopilot and flight director system panel, the attitude indicator with the pitch ladder in decrease and the bank angle in decrease, and also the flight director crossbars for manual guidance, the autopilot crossbars for automatic guidance, and the Lszh localizer crossbars. We have the magnetic heading and the magnetic north and the true north pole, and we have the magnetic variation depending on where we are in the world. We have the magnetic track and heading. We have also the magnetic heading and track. We have the flight mode associated with the autopilot and flight director, lateral and vertical navigation modes, and the bank angle of the aircraft, and also the angle of attack of the aircraft. So we're gonna see the navigation display. The navigation display that displays the airport's waypoints, the navigates, the GPS map, with the terrain and weather reflections from the weather radar. We have other aircraft flying around us displayed with the TICA system, the transporter, the ADSP and ATSC transporter system. We have the distance and the rings. We have also the ground speed. We have the airspeed direction and vector. We have next waypoint we're going to be overfly. We have the NP and the RMP, the acquired navigation performance and the required navigation performance. We have also we're gonna generate a route using the flight management computer. We're gonna input our departure, airport, and runway using also the aircraft weight and fuel on board. Its takeoff weight, maximum takeoff weight. We have the gross weight of the aircraft. We have also the gross weight for takeoff. We're gonna use the V speed, the V1, V rotate, and V2, and we're gonna select the departure runway and departure seats, the starter instruments, departure, then with the major waypoints. Then we're gonna select a destination, airport and runway, and the stars, the starter terminal arrival fixes and waypoints. So we're gonna make a complete route using the flight management computer. It's gonna display on the navigation display. We're gonna have to follow it manually or automatically using the autopilot LNAV and the VNAV, the lateral navigation and vertical navigation modes. So then I'm gonna come to the autopilot and flight director system panel. So we have also in the navigation display again the magnetic heading and track, the magnetic north pole and true north pole, and magnetic variation depending on where we are in the world. So we have the autopilot engage and disengage switches, the auto throttle left and auto throttle right, engage and disengage switch, the LNAV and the VNAV, the lateral navigation, the vertical navigation, the flight level change, the auto throttle mode with the speed also hold switch. We have also the climb continuous, so we have fixed thrust modes like the climb continuous or the idle thrust. So we have maximum climb continuous thrust, maximum continuous thrust for climb, and we have idle thrust for descent from the cruise level, and we have maximum climb thrust from takeoff to the climb level, and we have variable thrust modes like the cruise and the speed, and also we have the approach and landing, which also has variable thrust request. So we select the airspeed using the airspeed node, the target airspeed, and then we engage the related modes for the autopilot and auto throttle using the flight director system and the autopilot. So we're gonna have also the bank angle limit of the aircraft as it flies, the heading select, the heading hold switch. We have the vertical rate of climb descent of the aircraft, tens, hundreds, and thousands of feet per minute, and also the flight path angle of the aircraft in trigonometric degrees, like 2 or 3 degrees of climb or descent. Flight path is gonna follow using the autopilot engaged mode, and we select the target altitude. So we have the FPA, the flight path angle, or the vertical speed in tens, hundreds, and thousands feet per minute, engaged usually with the target altitude switch. And we also have the approach localizer switch for the auto launch function, and the vol lock switch for the ILS localizer function of the autopilot and flight director system panel. So we have a Cat 1, Cat 2, and Cat 3 auto land. So we have so we have about an hour and 8 minutes left for this flight video. I'm gonna continue then with the thrust levers. I will show you how to use the thrust levers to adjust the thrust produced from the aircraft engines. We have two General Electric G90 turbofan turbojet engines installed in this aircraft, one installed in the left wing and one installed in the right wing for symmetrical thrust and redundancies. So the G90 engine produces the necessary thrust propulsion. It's a turbofan turbojet engine, so this turbofan turbojet engine aircraft, so it's gonna have a lot of thrust and power in flight. So it's gonna reach a high speed of 900 kilometers an hour higher, or 300 meters a second in cruise level. So I'm gonna show you how to do that, also how to use the auto throttle engage and disengage switch, the takeoff, ground, the thrust reverse, how to reverse the thrust, to slow down the aircraft, using the brakes also from the rudder pedals. I'm gonna show you the parking brake. I'm gonna show you the flight management computer, how to use it to generate the flight plan and route, and how to input the weight of the aircraft and other data. I'm gonna show you also, after the thrust levers, I will explain you about the flight theory of the aircraft and how many, what takeoff speeds and flaps and horizontal stability we need for takeoff. And also, I'm gonna show you later the flight controls of the aircraft. So you can see inside the cockpit again. So I will talk to you about the flight controls. I will come later after the flight controls to the overhead panel. I will show you the electrical. We have the left and the right engine with the great size generators installed in the left and the right engine. So before that, I will talk to you about the engines. I will talk to you about the fire exit fuel authority. These are electronic control computers that control the engine's parameters and the engine's functions. One installed in the left engine and one installed in the right engine, dual engine. So we have a dual channel redundancy. One channel fails, the other takes over. This is for the FAREX part. I'm gonna talk to you about how to use the thrust and the auto throttle system, also the autopilot system. And then I'm going to come on the flight controls, the overhead panel, the electrical. I will show you the batteries, the APU, how to start the APU, start the aircraft, using also the batteries in a cold and dark aircraft. I will show you the ADIRU, the air-dynamics reference using the primary flight control computers of the Boeing 777-300ER. I'm gonna show you also the left and the right engine driven hydraulic pumps, the bleeder pressurized hydraulic and electrically driven pumps, the left and the right, and which is the C1 and C2. Also, I'm gonna show you the engine fire extinguishers for the engines and for the APU and the cargo, and also I'm gonna show you the electronic engine control for the engine, the left and the right engine, and the auto start system for both engines. I'm gonna show you how to use the fuel on board, the fuel tanks and the fuel pumps and the crossfeed valves, and also the fuel control valves for the left and the right engine, how to feed the engines with fuel. And when you do that during the engine start process, I'm gonna show you the left and the right engine, the left wing and the right wing fuel tanks, and also the center tanks that contains no fuel. Right now we have only fuel in the left wing and the right wing of the aircraft, about 51,000 pounds in its left and right wing, or about 33,000 kilograms in left wing and 33,000 kilograms in the right wing. So we have in total 102,000 pounds or 46,000 kilograms right now of fuel. I'm gonna show you also the wing and engine ADIs, the cabin pressurization system, and also the bleeder from the left and the right engine we use for cabin pressurization, wing and engine ADIs, air conditioning and ventilation, and also hydraulic fluid pressurization system, the C1 and C2, and also the APU bleeder we use for supplying air during the engine start process. Either engine needs pressurized air from the APU, the auxiliary power unit, besides alternate current, I'm gonna talk to you about later. So also the engine start process is gonna admit a pressurizer in the engine starter, small air turbine in the engine's turbofan side. So thank you very much one more time for joining me in this video. I'm Thomas Hatsios, the British American pilot of the United States Air Force, flying the Boeing 777-300ER airliner tonight's flight. So this is jetliners. So I'm gonna start now showing you. Here we have about so I'm gonna start showing you. You can see what's the outside view of the aircraft here. Hope you like it. So So we have here, you can see the flight controls here, the control column and the yoke of the Boeing 777, the control column, the control wheel, so you can climb, descend, and also bunker left and right, and use also the rudder pedals for the directional steering of the aircraft. Also the other side is interconnected here, so when you move one side, the other also moves. So you can see we have the overhead panel here. So I'm gonna start with the primary flight display. You can see we have about an hour and 2 minutes left. So this is the airspeed indicated right now, it's 30 knots. The actual is 0, so the ground speed is 0. The target airspeed selected here from the autopilot flight director system panel. You can see with purple magenta color. We have also the radio altitude above the ground level. So this is the airspeed tape. This is the barometric altitude above the sea level, 1430 feet. This is the rate of climb and descent of the aircraft. So when it climbs, this needle points above the altitude over here, so it shows like 1000, 2000, 3000 feet per minute. And also when you descend, this needle points below the altitude, so it points like minus 1000, 2000, 3000 feet per minute, or less for landing, like 500 or 300 feet per minute. So you can see the radio altitude above the ground level. The barometric pressure settings 29.92 inches standard. We have the magnetic heading and track again here of the aircraft. So you can see the pitch ladder here in degrees. The flight director is engaged. So we have also the pitch angle for the takeoff. So we have the LNAV and the VNAV, because this is our now in takeoff go around mode. So the target altitude, the target values are gonna be displayed here from the autopilot and flight director system panel. So we have the navigation display here. You can see the airports, the waypoints, the distance of the airports, how far away they are from our position. Over here you can see the aircraft position and heading in the ring, 160, 320 nautical miles. We can change the range. You will see a different radar scan. You can see other aircraft flying around us. So this is pretty much 6100 feet displayed with red. Yellow is intermediate, and 0 feet is green. So it displays also the sea and the lakes. So this is the terrain map from the radar. You can see also the RNP, the required navigation performance, and the acquired navigation performance, and the GPS position. So we have also, you can see here we have the weather and radar, the weather radar and the reflections from it, like the terrain. You see we have the transponder that transmits and receives the frequency of other aircraft and our own aircraft, also the air traffic control tower. So it's a passive radar. It will display over here other aircraft flying around us, its distance, and altitude and heading. So it generates also a warning if we have other oncoming aircraft. So you can see the ground speed, the next waypoint we're gonna be overflying. So this is all in all for the navigation display right now. You will see later the flight plan here created a line, a magenta line, using this computer, the flight management computer. So we'll come here in the autopilot flight director system panel. You can see we have the auto throttle left here, engaged, disengaged, displayed with yellow. So we have the auto throttle left off right now. Now we'll switch one auto throttle off, like the right, the left is on. So you will see the auto throttle right is off, the fuel pump center, left, landing altitude. So we have the flight director also on and off. So we have the climb continues, the auto thrust. This is So we need to disengage now using the disconnect switch here, the auto throttle. So this disconnects the auto throttle engage. Pressing this switch here in the thrust levers, so we disengage the auto throttle, so this starts the aircraft. So we have the flight level change for takeoff. You can use a higher airspeed. We have the parking brakes on, also dedicated airspeed. So we have the LNAV, the VNAV. It's also compressible like this. We have the heading and track. We'll set the heading here. We have the bank angle limit of the aircraft. We're gonna set to the takeoff runway, like 136 degrees. So you will see system traffic only. Takeoff, go around, flight level, change speed. So I'm gonna arm this also is the FS panel electronic flight instrument. You can change from inches of mercury to hectopascals over here. You can select also the meters display. You can change the range also. So you will see a different range closer, or you will see different range levels also if we change how far away it goes. So you will see also a new radar scan here. We have now the display 3050 meters, 10,000 feet and 436 meters around altitude above the sea level, 1013 hectopascals here. So I will show you now we have also the altitude select here. So we will select the target altitude after takeoff. It's gonna climb the aircraft. If we use the autopilot, we can climb it manually. Also the vertical rate of climb and descent here. You can engage like vertical speed in trigonometric degrees. You can see the minus over here, so it will display a minus sign. Flight path angle, you will see the flight path angle here displayed with purple, so it's at descent. It's below the flight director symbol here, this crossbar. So if we change and we request a climb, you will see the plus symbol here. So we have to move the slider the opposite way, and you will see a climb here and the plus sign. So we have like 3.5 degrees of plus here, the positive climb request. So this also we can arm the we can arm like this. So we have so now we have like this flight path angle. So you see the positive now is a climb descent. So you see 2.5 degrees, 5, 7.5, 10 degrees, 12.5, 15 degrees, 17.5 degrees, 30 degrees. So this is the climb. This is the descent, the pitch ladder above or below the horizon. And this is the request 3.5 degrees here, the tick mark after climb. Flight path angle with the takeoff ground arm. Over here you can see the takeoff ground for the thrust request. So we can arm the autopilot if we wish, like this. So you press this switch, the green, you can see the green display. You can disarm like this by pushing out this switch. You can rearm it. So you can see now the autopilot is engaged. Over here you see the AP, the request. So we have the target airspeed of the target altitude 7,700 meters or 35,300 feet, and the altitude the aircraft is located in the ground level with this angle. So this is gonna be our required mode for takeoff, after takeoff. So we can change also in this mercury back from hectopascals. It will display 29.92. So you can see also a couple more modes. We have the vertical rate of climb and descent. We have the altitude here, target altitude, and heading select mode with the autopilot. So you will see the heading. But also we can deselect this if you wish. We can set the bank angle for the steering gear. Also this one, 7,000. This is also the press one. So this is some of the modes. Now we have the altitude select with the heading hold straight. So this also generates a request for a climb at 3.5 degrees again, the altitude. So if we change flight level change, over here also flight level change speed. So we have the thrust, the fixed thrust now with the autopilot for this target altitude and this target airspeed after takeoff. So we can engage the other mode, vertical speed again, and we select flight path angle. We switch over here to the vertical speed. So you see the minus again, like 2,500 feet. You will see the negative here, 2,500, marking the rate of climb descent. So this is from cruise level. So now we're gonna make it positive, like we'll move the slider in the opposite way. You will see like 3,500 over here, vertical speed. So you will see the VSI in the primary flight display, the VSI, the vertical speed indicator. You will see over here the target climb rate for the aircraft after takeoff. So this is all in all the modes we can use. We have also a couple more things. You can see the flight path angle here, the board localizer, the approach, the other side flight director, the first officer flight director. So we have also the magnetic heading and track here, the heading reference. So you can switch to magnetic like this using this switch here. So you can see the true now instead of magnetic with this heading. The true north pole here and here. So we switch back to the magnetic. So this is all in all for the autopilot. You can see if we press the switch out, it disconnects. We have the warning. So this gives the autopilot disconnect here with the red light. You can see with the upper ACAS. So we can cancel the warning, reset the autopilot like this. It's still on, the autopilot disconnect, and press the autopilot engage. So now we're gonna use the control wheel. This switch is the autopilot disconnect. So we press one time, it disconnects the autopilot. You will see the warning here, the autopilot disconnected. I hope you can see it better. Autopilot disconnect, it's red above the yellow. So now we go in we have the warning here. Press one more time and it confirms over here the autopilot disconnect. So this is all in all. We use the flight level change again. Perhaps I'm gonna show you now some other things over here. I'm gonna show you the thrust levers. So you can see here we can move the thrust levers. We can press the auto throttle disconnect switch here. We have the flaps here setting. You can set the flaps up or down, extend to the 30 degrees or retract. So the flaps now extend to the 30 degrees, are already extended. You can see the full wide. We have the speed brake here, extend and retract, slow down the aircraft, the horizontal trim stabilizer. So I'm gonna show you now the thrust levers. We have also the takeoff go around switch. Press the switch here, you will see the thrust engages for takeoff. So we disarm the auto throttle like this and move the thrust back to idle. Thrust levers. We can move also the thrust reverse. You will see the speed brakes extend when the thrust reverse moves automatically. So this is an automatic. You have the warning also. So now you have the thrust reverse open. I will talk to you about the engine's indications. So you can see the thrust reverses here being extended in either coil flap of the turbo fan engine. So the blocker doors. So now you retract. So you retract also the speed brakes. So now you extend again. You will see the thrust reverse extend. Now you see the front side with the turbo engine intake. You can see thrust reverses, retract and extend again. So this is all for the thrust reverse. This display. So now we'll show you again inside the aircraft. So we cancel the thrust reverse. When we have idle thrust, we can extend the speed brakes only at idle thrust, but when we move the thrust levers forward, the speed brakes retracts automatically. So these are a few things you need to remember when flying the aircraft. Also, you can see we have the indications of the thrust levers. I will show you now. You can see the displays of the fatigues. So we have the N1, which is a little below speed starter and soft. You can see the N1, the rotation speed. You can see the green is the maximum continuous thrust and the takeoff go on. We have the green and yellow, and also the red is the never exceed limit. So the N1 is the low speed soft and starter of the turbofan turbojet engine. The high pressure, the low pressure compressor and turbine of the turbofan turbojet engine. The exhaust gas temperature per engine per hour. Here is some warnings not related to the engines, maybe the landing gear external retract. So we have the duct pressure, the outflow pressure from the engines from the 5th and 9th states, the total fuel on board, the cabin pressurization. You can see the Boeing 777 here, our aircraft trademark. We have the N2, which is the high speed rotor and shaft, and also the high pressure compressor and turbine of the turbofan turbojet engine. This section of the turbofan turbojet engine, the fuel flow per engine per hour, the threshold temperature quality. Over here in the vibration of the N2 stage of the engine in inches. So this is a few things you need to display. You can see if I move the thrust levers, I generate a thrust lever angle, a daily angle request. We have the warning because we're not configured for takeoff. You can see the N1 request here now about 70%, which you can use for cruise, for approach and landing. 70% of thrust, you need more for takeoff. So we have the N2 here. Again, display. We can also use You can see here is the fuel control levers. You can start off the fuel in the left and the right engine. So we have the left and the right engine thrust control. So we can move one control at a time. We use variable thrust. So if we move, you will see one thrust only here moving, the other in idle. So we go up. We use variable thrust like this. Also we can move it back and use the other forward. You can also see how it looks like if you use the variable thrust. Over here will display, you can see how well simulated it is. You can see indeed it's variable thrust here. So we move back to the other balls. So this is the fuel control, this is the fire extinguishers left and right for the left and right engine. I told you Flught, so slats. This is the horizontal tail trim tab. You can use it to trim nose up and nose down request of the horizontal tail movement arm force. You can use also these switch in the control wheel to pitch up and pitch down to your horizontal trim stabilizer. The aileron trim here. We have also the rudder and the aileron here. The rudder trim and the aileron trim. So you will see the display of how much rudder trim you need here, and how much aileron you need here, and how much the horizontal tail you have it here. And also later in the display of the flight control, so you see nose up, nose down, the green bundles for takeoff, the parking brakes also up and down. So you can use also normal and alternate pitch trim these tabs instead. And also this is the C1 and the C2, the horizontal tail trim. We have the auto trim system utilizes the CODR hydraulic pressure. So if we have a failure of the CODR hydraulics, we can disconnect from the autopilot and the auto thrust the auto trimming function. So this is a feature of the Boeing airliners, like the Boeing 777 or 737. So you have the normal and the cutout here, as you can see. We have also the fuel control there, so this is guarded by the switch, the red cover. So you close that. I'm gonna come now in the engines explanations, the thrust. So we have about 15 more minutes for this. So I'm gonna come now to the engines, thrust, levers explanation. So we have the this airline, the Boeing 777-300ER. We have the turbo fan turbocharged engine, the G90 General Electric 90 installed in the left and the right wing. Two engines installed for symmetrical thrust, and with that you see one in the left wing, one in the right wing. Have also in its engine contains its gearbox that drives a few things like the FADEX. The FADEX are the full authority digital electronic control computer that controls and monitors all the engine's functions and indications you see in the upper and the lower ACAS, the engine indication controller system. So it controls and monitors the display of the N1. The N1 is the low speed shaft and starter, the low pressure compressor and turbine of the turbofan engine, the exhaust gas temperature from the engines, the outflow pressure of the duct valves of the 5th and 9th stage of the turbofan turbojet engine, bleeder. Also the N2, which is the high speed starter and shaft, the high pressure compressor and turbine of the turbofan turbojet engine. Also the oil pressure, oil quantity, oil temperature, the vibration of the N2 stage of the engine, and the fuel flow rate per engine per hour in thousands of kilograms or in thousands of pounds. Right now we have thousands of pounds, so it's about 2,000 pounds an hour in ground level, 1,400 feet with these idle settings. So also controls and monitors, engine start, engine shutdown, and other indications failure. Also the vibration of the engine, the N2 stage. I told you about the bleeder. It regulates also the exhaust gas temperature, the limits of the temperature, and the rotation of the N1, which is a low speed, and the N2, which is a high speed. The low pressure and the high pressure compressor and turbine. We have also the outflow bleeder of the fifth and the ninth stage, which is used for cabin pressurization with dimensional gas and air conditioning, and also for the hydraulic fluid pressurization for some flight controls. So if we have an overpressure inside the engine, it opens up the fifth and ninth stage to higher stages to relieve the pressure inside the engine. We have another pressure, it closes them down to a lower level to increase the pressure inside the engine. This is also used for climb and descent of the aircraft. When we climb into higher altitudes from the sea level, we have a higher air pressure into the sea level, and as we climb higher, the air pressure gets lower and lower, like half of the sea level in the cruise altitude. So we have about half of the barometric pressure in the cruise altitude than we have in the sea level. Also we have lower temperature, much lower temperature, and oxygen level. Also the aircraft flies in a higher rate in the higher altitude. So as we climb or descend, the air pressure changes, so also the oxygen changes, and as we fly faster or slower, the intake from the front fan stage changes. That is used for pressurization and compression and for burning into the burner stage. So the fuel mixture needs to be changed every second as we fly. So this is done automatically using the FADEX, the fuel authorities, the electronic control computers. As you climb at this higher or lower altitude, you need to adjust the fuel mixture. As you fly faster or slower, you have different oxygen levels. So this is done automatically using the FADEX, with these electronic control computers, which are installed in the turbo contributor engine, one in the left engine and one in the right engine. We have dual channel redundancy of the FADEX. If one channel of the FADEX fails, the other takes over. It's a good thing to have the FADEX to adjust the fuel mixture instead of doing it manually like we do in the Cessna piston aircraft or in turbo prop aircraft. So also we have other indications and functions. I will explain in another slide maybe. So I will talk to you now about the flight theory of the aircraft. We have about 15 minutes for starting the engines and doing all the explanation when flying. So right now I'm gonna start talking to you about the flight theory of the aircraft. I'm gonna use the Newton's first, second, and third law of kinematics of motion. So I will show you the Bernoulli theory of physics also for the flow of air into the wings that generate the lift force. Also the thrust from the engines that overcomes the propulsion thrust from the engines that overcomes the inner friction and the drag friction. So we have the lift from the wings that overcomes the weight of the aircraft, that is equal to the mass of the aircraft times the acceleration of the Earth's gravity, depending on where we are in the world. So this is the four main forces: balance or unbalance. I will show you the explanation. I will talk to you about also this aircraft right now. It's the Boeing 777-300ER. So we have a maximum takeoff weight. Now our weight is below the maximum takeoff. We have 521,000 pounds of takeoff weight, or 246,000 kilograms. From this we have 102,000 pounds of fuel on board and 46,000 kilograms, which is only 30% of the takeoff fuel we can use on board. Fuel tanks, we have about 46,000 kilograms of passenger cargo on board. 46,000 pounds or 30,000 kilograms, which is below the maximum takeoff weight also. So in total we have 246,000 kilograms of 121,000 pounds for takeoff weight. We're gonna need for this aircraft, using the thrust propulsion from the turbofan, we need to accelerate to the takeoff speed of 154 nautical miles per hour, 154 knots. And this is about 270 kilometers an hour. We're gonna use also flaps of 15 degrees and 4 degrees of horizontal tail trim stabilizer, of positive horizontal tail pitch trim. The nose pitch up request. So we're gonna need 154 nautical miles per hour knots, or 270 kilometers an hour for takeoff. We need to overcome the stall speed. The stall speed is gonna make the wings of the aircraft not generate the necessary lift force for takeoff. We need to achieve the effective lift component from the wings. It's gonna make the aircraft start landing into the air. So I'm gonna show you now the outside view of the aircraft and explain you a few things about these principles about the aeronautical engineering. So also it's utilized from the pilots for flying the aircraft. So you can see the aircraft again one more time. You can see the wings. So you can see the wings hold the total weight of the aircraft over here. We have the mean aerodynamic chord position here, which is about 35%. So it's the position of the maximum aerodynamic pressure created in the wings. It's also the position where the stall begins the airflow above this above the wings start to become detached. So we have here the leading edge of the wings. We have the trailing edge behind. So you can see here we have the mean aerodynamic chord, the Mach 35%. It's also the position where the center of gravity of the aircraft has been positioned. You can shift the center of gravity of the airliner forward or aft by shifting passenger cargo and fuel. So you can see we have the flaps that increase over here the surface area of the wings. You can see also we have the wings, as I told you. We have the moment arm here from physics, that is the distance from the center of gravity all the way back to the horizontal tail and the vertical tail. So you can see the symmetric thrust here from the left and the right engine. You can see the exhaust of the gases here behind, and the vectors from physics. Also the intake, the front fan here that compresses the air. So we have the wings. You can see the bottom surface of the wings is more flat. So you can use also the flaps for that. So the airflow of the air mass moves much slower below the wing. So the air, when you are in the takeoff process of flying, the air pressurizes the aircraft up into the air. You have higher air pressure below the wing. Also you have the incident angle here that increases the air pressure below. You can see the top surface of the wings is more curved. It has a higher curvature above the wing. So the airflow of the air mass as the aircraft accelerates for flying, for takeoff speed, the airflow moves slower. You have higher pressure below the wing, which pressurizes the aircraft up into the air, and the airflow of the air mass moves much faster above the wing. This creates air suction above the wing, which sucks the aircraft up into the air above the wing. So this is also the stall over here, the aerodynamic pressure position, the center of gravity of the aircraft pretty much here. You can use it for stability in the air. So also you can use it in conjunction with the other flight controls, like the ailerons and the spoilers for bank rolling. By deflecting the airflow from the wings, you can make turns like this, like turn left, turn right. and also using the horizontal tail you can climb and you can descend and also turn left and turn right. So you have the center of gravity times the distance from the moment arm is the force that makes the aircraft pitch up and pitch down. So you can climb, you can descend, and also make turns left and right. So the moment arm is times the distance from the center of gravity back to the horizontal tail. The moment arm is also the lever arm from Newton's physics, kinematics. So it's times the distance from the center of gravity back to the horizontal tail over the surface area of the horizontal tail, or the vertical tail, or the elevator, or the rudder, or the ailerons, and the spoilers times the airflow of the air mass per second times the acceleration of the gravity. And you have the moment arm. You can climb and you can descend. So this is how you steer the aircraft in flight, how you generate the lift from the wings. You can see the surface area of the wings holds the weight of the aircraft in total as we fly. Also the engines only push the aircraft forward, they generate only the forward thrust propulsion. So we have in total 6 more minutes for this flight. I'm gonna start showing you now the flight controls, and then come to the overhead panel, then make the engine start demonstration. So we have the flight controls here and the side stick I use for this flight. So you can see here I use the control column here and the control wheel and the rudder pedals. Also this the tiller for the nose wheel steering. I'm gonna show you later. So I will show you now the side stick I use for the simulation of the Boeing 777-300ER. So you can see here I use this side stick in conjunction with this simulation. The Lszh Extreme 3D. Here you can see I can use it for the input of the side stick command, like in the Airbus aircraft. I can climb and descend. Also I can bank roll left and bank roll right. Also the other side is interconnected, the first officer with the captain side. So you can also use the rudder pedals left and right for, so you can make turns left and right, and also climb. You can hold neutral if you need in flight, or make smaller adjustments like this. Not smaller adjustments, usually like this, not so big like this one. It's only for display. So you can use also the horizontal tail trim stabilizer, pitch up and pitch down, and the thrust levers again up and down. So now I'm gonna show you the outside view of doing the same thing using the side stick, and how it controls the flight controls of the aircraft as it flies. So it generates a side stick deflection proportional to the yoke deflection inside the cockpit, as you can see here. So we have the flight controls in total using the side stick. You can climb and descend, also turn left and turn right, make bank rolls, flight hold neutral, horizontal tail trim, up and down, the thrust levers again. So this is all in all for this lesson of the side stick. I hope you like it. So you can climb, descend, and also bank roll left and right. So now I'm gonna show you the overhead panel, the left and right engine, electrical, the hydraulic, the fuel on board, the tanks that we use, how to make the engine start demonstration, and set up the flight plan. So it's gonna be faster now. We have not much time left. So I'm gonna come in the overhead panel. You can see inside the cockpit we have I'm gonna make a very fast now. I may not have the time to display everything. Start the APU. We have the ADIRU, the Air Data Inertia Reference Unit, the thrust asymmetry compensator, the primary flight control computers here, on and off. So we started the APU. This is the hydraulic here. We can turn off the hydraulic. You will see the warnings, left engine, right engine, C1, C2. So it will generate some warnings here. You will see we have hydraulic pressure, demand, pump, center left, center right, auto land. Also the flaps are alternate, and we have lost the stabilizer control here with red, and it keeps going. More systems, flaps primary, flaps hydraulic pressure system now we have. So we need to reset here the hydraulics in the overhead panel. Back to the on, left engine, also the electrical. You will see the engines coming up again. So we set to the auto. We have the window heat, the ramming turbine, the passenger oxygen, the cargo fire and the APU fire. So this is the lighting system of the aircraft, the windshield wipers left and right, the IDG, the grid drive generators, electronic engine control for the engine left and right, start, auto start on and off. So we'll leave the auto start on for this display. Fuel jettison arm and disarm. The fuel on board, left and wing tank, left and right, the center. Wing and engine on the ice here on or auto. Also we're gonna utilize the cabin pressurization system here, aft and forward, climate descent manual or automatic. So in manual we use the climate descent outflow valves and the landing altitude. We have also the bleed air from the left and the right engine and from the APU. I'm gonna show you very fast. If we turn off all the systems, you will see the warnings being generated here. It will pop up. You see the overhead panel of the 777 here, so it will pop up some warnings, some indication, bleed air isolation, auto throttle disconnect, bleed off. So we have hydraulic pressure demand C1 and C2. We'll use some hydraulic and also we have no pressurizer for the cabin pressurization. So this is all in all the systems. I'm gonna show you how to start the engines right now. I'm gonna come very quickly here. So we have a couple more minutes left. You can see we have the CDU here, this display of the Boeing 777 display on. So we can see the flight management computer here and the systems of the aircraft. So we have the engines, the status, the APUs running. We're gonna use for starting the engines, the hydraulics and the oxygen level, what we need to do before start. A few items we need to complete in the display, the computer program, and also the non-normal menu. We have the communications, navigation, synoptics. The doors are closed inside the Boeing 777. The cabin can be pressurized. The gear, you can see the pressure of the brake of the tires and the temperature of the brakes. The electrical left and right engine drive, APU drive, and the backup generators. You can see the voltage, the main battery, and the APU battery. Also the alternate current, the voltage and the frequency, hydraulic pressure, left wing, right wing engine, 3000 psi, where the hydraulic fluid goes, and the backup generators here, which are pressurized. Fuel on board, the left wing, right wing, total fuel on board, the center tank is empty, crossfeed is on, APU is fed from the left wing, and the low and high pressure fuel valves. The minimum fuel temperature here, after that it freezes. The bleed air from the left and the right wing, and also from the APU we use for starting the engine. So if we increase the thrust levers here, you will see the bleed air from the duct pressure is gonna increase rapidly. Flight controls here, extend. The speed brakes, you will see the flight controls moving around. Everything is working, the stabilizer trim and the rudder trim. So this displays the flight controls here, the function, the first officer and the captain here. So this is all in all we need to know about the systems, the Boeing 777. We'll go back into the modes, the engine. We come in the virtual cockpit, we turn off both engine fuel throttle levers. The engines are at idle. So we're gonna have we have the auto starter already start, engine auto start. You see left and right, so it's gonna start supplying the engines automatically. You can see the N2 is increasing, it's decreasing, and then it's gonna increase again very rapidly. So you will see both fans, left and right wings, start rotating. So we have initiated the engine start process. We can let the fuel into the engine automatically. So we're gonna have fuel flow right now is 0. The N2 is above 30%. So we have the engine start, both right and left wing engine start rotation, and we can go for takeoff right now like this. So this is how fast the engine auto start works in the Boeing 777. Look like not like the older versions. Now we have the engines initialize, legs menu, FMC position, the model, the position initialize, Lszh, Lszh, the reference airport. So you can see the reference airport here. We have the GPS position, the coordinates of the aircraft. You can set the zero fuel weight, gross weight, the reserve fuel on board 5%, cruising altitude 35,300. We have already set the route from this airport, Lszh, back to this airport using the runway 14. Route legs, departure and arrival, departure runway 14, transit to Alpha. So we have the legs here, generator, departure and arrival, ILS 14 approaches, Negri on Alpha, Amity. So we have the legs for approach, for departure and approach. We activate and execute. Also the flaps for takeoff. 15 degrees of flaps, and the center of gravity is going to be automatically inserted. 4 degrees horizontal tail trim, and we have the V-speeds, V1, V-rotate, V-takeoff with this crossway, and this is the whole flight plan. All the waypoints we're gonna cross and the altitude we're gonna fly. So we're gonna have the route here displayed, and this is all in all. For this we have the horizontal tail trim. Also the landing lights here on. We need to turn on like this. So now we're gonna go into the runway for taxi and for takeoff like this. Parking brakes off, advance the thrust levers, and use the tiller and the rudder pedals for steering the airplane. So you can see we depart now. So this is our runway for takeoff, it's empty. Some parking brakes. We need more idle thrust for that. So I'm not having the time right now to make all the adjustments. So I will have to take off faster. Parking brakes again. You can see the LNAV here is armed. The thrust is gonna be maximum takeoff. The flaps is gonna be set up 15 degrees. And the horizontal tail trim stabilizer. So we have also here the view, the range is gonna be 40 degrees. So We're gonna see the radars come. Everything is normal here. So here we are for the takeoff process to the runway. So we now need only to have a nice view here for the records. So parking brakes off and adjust the heading using the rudder pedals, and we have like 12 more minutes for this flight. Video to end. So we increase the thrust, maximum takeoff. So we have V1, V-rotate and V2. So we be careful how we rotate over here. You can see also from the outside not to hit the tail as you climb. So we have positive climb rate. Retract the landing gear. Keep climbing. So now we're gonna see here. You can see we are 1,430 feet above the ground, but 3,400, 2,000 above the ground, 3,900, 4,000 above the sea level, climb 8,000 feet per minute. The airspeed and the pitch angle here. We need to decrease the pitch angle a little bit, the rate of climb. We have the flaps limit here, the stall speed also. So you can see as we climb out. Also we have the terrain scan from the radar and other aircraft flying around us and the flight plan. So this is gonna be a nice view as we climb out. So now we have to start turning to the waypoints. So we're gonna make a nice turn here. As we keep climbing, you can see from the outside also. We have the view here, the Zurich, and we climb with about 500 kilometers an hour, 200 feet per minute. You can see how beautiful the Boeing 777-300ER our liner looks like as we climb out here in this view. We have also the Zurich. I'm gonna show you the Galaxy, the view. So we keep climbing like this. Hope you like this aircraft, this airliner. So keep climbing. We have the stars, the galaxies, a beautiful view. Fly with about Mach 0.5 right now, or 500 kilometers an hour. We're flying out the Zurich here, this area. So this is a nice view here. We're going back inside. We need to steer to the next waypoint. So I'm gonna have to use this to execute. So keep climbing. Maybe flying full 15,000 feet. So we have about 8 minutes left for this flight. So we need to climb a little bit faster, also steer into the waypoints as we keep climbing. You can see we have the Germany in front of us, the Bayern Munich area, 20,000 feet. Keep climbing, steering up. So we have the Switzerland here. So you can see the climb rate also increase. So here we have the outside view. You can see we have the chemtrails and the contrails over here of the airplane. We have a beautiful view as we climb out. We need to stay here 35,000 feet, and we have the frozen vapors as we climb out into this view. We have the galaxy, so this spacecraft for tonight, the Boeing 777-300 ER. So we are flying the Zurich here. We have the Germany in front of us, the Bayern Munich, and the France. On this side, now we need to come back for landing, so we'll start steering. So we cross the lake. We have the Germany here. You can see we hold level here in this altitude 36,000. Also the flaps retract and the airspeed is gonna increase as we're going back. So we cross the 35,000 feet here. We have the Germany on this side. As you can see, we have our aircraft. So this is the Bayern Munich, this side, about 15 minutes flight. So we need to keep heading. You can see the frozen vapors here of the aircraft, and then we steer back. We fly with about 300 meters a second, or 900 kilometers an hour. We're flying now this level, 900 kilometers an hour. So this is our spacecraft for tonight, crossing the galaxy. So we need to go back inside now, start the descent and approach. Over here, need to advance the thrust levers to the idle. So we're gonna have about 5 minutes left for this flight. We need to make a shortcut. Also, speed brakes and decrease the airspeed here. The request gonna decrease. So we can descend manually like this. Instead of having the autopilot, we're gonna make some shortcut for descending faster. We cross this altitude now. Keep descending the lake of the Switzerland and the Swiss Alps, and the view from the galaxy here. The beautiful view. Need also to adjust landing gear down to slow us down. So we're gonna make a shortcut for landing. We're gonna cross the river here. (10,000 feet). Also some flaps here. And decrease the airspeed even further. So we're gonna be flying over the river, 9,000 feet. So make the steering like this. As you can see, keep descending here. And we have the runway inside. Need to descend a little bit further. The Lszh localizer here. The approach for the Autobahn. We add some thrust when we need. So we need to steer the other runway. It's gonna make us lose some time. So we have about 1 minute left for this video record to end. We need to approach the other runway. So we're gonna have the Lszh localizer over there. So we need to steer to the left runway, not the right runway. We have selected already over here. So keep descending. We need to make a nice maneuver here. So here we are, aligned with the runway, idle thrust. Use some rudder pedals. Idle. Yeah.
Άσε το κομπιούτερ και σήκω πάρε τηλέφωνο να πάω να πάρεις τα λεφτά να τελειώνει γιατί έχω δουλειές.
Wait 1 second. Reverse thrust. And we just made a nice landing here. So we just slowed down. You can see we made a nice landing here. You can see the nose wheel here. The landing gear, the nose wheel here, the tire is perfectly safe, so there's no buckling, no breakage, not like some other pilots are doing with the aircraft. Also the landing gear, the left and the right landing gear, there's no breakages, the tires are safe. So you can see the aircraft standing up and level into the runway as it should be. We made a nice approach, landing approach. So that was Thomas Hatsios, the British American pilot from the Boeing 777-300ER international flight from Zurich International back to Zurich International. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye bye. You can disarm the thrust reverse. You can see there is no failure into the aircraft. Made an absolutely beautiful landing here in this runway. So you can see again all the tires of the landing gear, the left and the right is normal, and also the nose wheel is perfectly normal. And the aircraft is standing the way it should be in the ground.